OpenClaw just dropped a massive update, and there are 6 things you need to know about right now. Because if you're still running the old version, you're leaving some serious power on the table. So you can see this release just got updated today. This is February 24th, and you can see the update is for 23rd. So now they've got a new way to connect via Kilo Gateway. You've got Moonshot and Kimi Vision enabled. We have more compaction. Uh, and a bunch of other updates right now. So first up, OpenClaw now natively works with Kilo Gateway. That means a whole new way to connect your AI models, and we can check into that in a second. Then there's Moonshot and Kimi, 2 new powerful AI providers now fully supported inside OpenClaw with more options, more flexibility. We're also looking at something called compaction, which basically means OpenClaw no longer crashes so much when you give it a really long, complex task. And it used to give up before, now it can just figure it out on its own. And then we've got more security updates as well. Now, if you want to check out the changelog and a list of all the new updates that came in, you can check them right here. So this is the release that just came out 4 hours ago. So for example, here, Kilo Code is now a provider in the setup, and the default model here is Kilo Code Claude Opus 4.6, which is pretty cool. So you can use Claude Opus 4.6 directly from Kilo Code, which is pretty nice. And then we also, for example, have other providers and a Vercel AI Gateway, bunch of caching updates. You can see some more stuff for cron jobs. So, for example, like scheduled tasks and that sort of thing. And then we have a new tools slash web search provider. So you can actually add Kimi Moonshot and enable web search with that directly. Then we've got the agents config. So you have support per agent, and a bunch of other cool stuff as well. A bunch of security fixes, Telegram fixes, agents, models, and that sort of thing as well. So you can see all the updates here. I mean, these are coming out every single day, which is pretty awesome. So if you want to update, let's test out together. As always, my friends, this is a bit to see, does it break or does it not? So I was actually using Mistral this morning to set this up. I'm actually going to switch over the API on OpenClaw. So we'll do that in a sec. I'm just going to open up the terminal here. By the way, if you ever need to know how to change over the terminal, you can do it right here as an example. So if we go and we open up this terminal here, then we'll paste in this command. Shackle says, "Can you show how you organize and manage all these skills in various imports and versions of Pace?" Do you know what? Like, I would just basically what you want to do is just keep like a skills MD file ready to go, right? Like, and with that, you can actually ask OpenClaw for a list of the skills that it's got, and just organize which ones you need and which ones you don't want. So that's a good option. When it comes to like the pace of changes and that sort of thing, a lot of updates come out daily. I don't think you need to worry too much about keeping up with all of them, right? Like they're not every single one's going to be useful for you. So it's just something to bear in mind. It's like, yes, there's a lot of updates. Do you need to worry about every single one? Probably not, but it is fun to keep up. So if you ever feel like things are overwhelming, don't worry about it at all. Web 3 says a quarter live stream. Welcome here. And Damien says, have I missed anything important? So we've just announced the new changes of the latest update from OpenClaw. That's what we were doing today. And now we're restarting the gateway. And you can see we have version the 2nd of, well, the 23rd of February right here. So that's a new version. Now, if you do want to enable auto updates, what you can do is go down to the config over here, right? So you go to all settings, click on updates, and then just enable auto updates like this, then hit save on your settings, right? So if you ever feel like I'm missing out or I don't know how to update this stuff, etc., they added an auto update section here. And that way you can just stay updated without having to do anything, which is pretty nice. Previously, you had to say like update to the new version, blah, blah, blah. And it was a lot of work. So we also got like the model section. We've got a bunch of new settings inside the config. It's changed a lot since I last checked it. And then you can add like new models. You've got options on the UI, that sort of thing. You can actually add mission control now as well. You've got browser options too. So you can see there's a lot of browser automation settings right here. So you can flick through them. And then if you want to manage your skills, like the easiest way is you just go through your skills right here, right? So you can see what's enabled, what's disabled, etc. And then you can run through the list here, right? I always find like that's the easiest way just to manage it. So you can see everything that's attached, and then you can always install new skills later as well, right? Something to pay attention to as well is this section. So just paying attention to what scheduled tasks and cron jobs you've got set up inside here, because sometimes you set some up, you don't really use them, but it's using up API tokens if you don't switch it off. So just make sure you keep that handled too. And now we have the new version ready to go, right? And so I'm just going to check, are you working? Make sure that's working here. I'm running this currently with ChatGPT Codex. You can use whatever you want, right? So you can see here it's good to go, right? Nice, nice. Now, if we go back to the new update details over here, you can see that you can add Kimi Moonshot as well, right? And you can add Kilo Gateway as a provider. So quite interested with the Kilo Gateway one. If you ever use Kilo code, it's pretty good, super fast, right? So you can see the details here. So I want to have a look at that right here. I'm just going to open up the terminal again, and then we'll stop that. And then we'll run this terminal command and just see if we can see it inside the auth provider. So you can see you've got Kimi Moonshot here, but you had that anyway previously. I guess you can just do more of it now. And then you see you've got Kilo Gateway as an option here. So you can grab an API key with Kilo code, and you just grab one right there, right? So if you want to get started with Kilo code, you can just go to kilo.ai, click on get started, and then you've got several options, right? So you can run it from the cloud, you've got the app builder, and you can also install this inside like Visual Studio Code or Antigravity and that sort of thing, right? So if we sign in here, This is what it looks like once you signed in. And then you can add your own key here. It looks like they're going to actually launch their own, which is pretty crazy. So you can see here, you got Kilo Claw. I've never seen that before. That's pretty insane. And then here's the details on how to set this up, right? So if you want to set up Kilo code, there's some details on the official website. I'll add this inside the app for Boardroom notes right here. And then you go to app.kilo.ai, sign in, and then navigate to API keys. Or you can actually just go to CLI setup and insert your API key there. Nice. Ah, look. All right. So once you've logged in to Kilo Code, as you can see right here, you'll see the profile section, and then you can grab an API key over here. Shackle says, you sign up to all of these with one email address. Not really. I switch between them, honestly. Like, I'm not that organized on which email address I use, but there's only like one or two that I use maximum, right? And the rest, yeah. And then, for example, here we've got the API key, so I think we can insert that into the terminal setup for Kilo Gateway. Let's paste that in. And then you can use Claude Opus 4.6, as you can see. So let's keep that. I'm going to skip all this for now. I am on the free plan of Kilo Code, so I'm not 100% sure if this is going to work or not, but we can try. Seems to be working. And then if we go back to OpenClaw over here, let's check if it's responding. So we'll switch the API now to Kilo Gateway, I think. Yes, it is working indeed. Let's say, what API are you using right now? And then if we refresh the page here, you can see that it's using some of the credits we added, right? So it was at $5 before, and now it's gone down. But this is a free account. So you can see here it's running Claude Opus with Kilo code, which is pretty awesome. So there you go. That's pretty awesome. Like, you get Claude Opus for free. I think you get $5 for free with Kilo code. You can test out, see if you like it. It was super easy to set up. literally all you do to get Kilo Code working with this is you log in, scroll down, get API key, and then the most important part here is you want to use this inside your terminal. Select Kilo Code. As a provider, insert API key, and then restart the gateway. That's pretty cool. Nice. All right. So you get Claude Opus, you get Kilo Code. And bear in mind as well, Kilo Code is like, if you're not familiar with this, let me talk you through it. So basically, it's designed for speed, right? It's designed to be faster, which means you can iterate faster, you can use coding agents faster. OpenClaw will actually respond faster. So it's quite a good way to be more efficient with the tokens you get, but then also to increase your output because you can move faster using something like that instead of the API directly. So it's a really good option. Something well worth looking into. So just to recap here as a summary, OpenClaw dropped a big update. What is OpenClaw? OpenClaw is a tool that lets you connect AI assistants to apps like Telegram, WhatsApp, Slack, etc. Right? What's in this new update? So number one, you get new options. So you can use Moonshot and Kimi, a Chinese AI, to search the web. Before, OpenClaw only worked with a few providers. Now it works with more. You get Kilo Gateway to support Kilo Code. You get smarter memory management, better security, and then also there's a bunch of fixes, as you can see right here. All right. So that's basically it. Thanks so much for watching. If you want to get all the video notes from today, you can get it inside the AI Profit Boardroom, link in the comments description, or go to aiprofitboardroom.com. We have a full 6-hour course on how to use OpenClaw. As you can see, we have another 3-hour course right here. I update this every single day with new updates, new guides, etc., to make this as useful as possible. Basically, what I do is I scan the whole internet, and I'm like, right, okay, which are the most useful AI automations that just came out today? And then I create a video and usually a 30-day roadmap on how to use this stuff as well. So you can see, for example, here today we covered OpenClaw Mission Control, Mistral and OpenClaw, the new update that just came out 4 hours ago, and also some cool anti-gravity stuff as well. So you get this all inside the AI Profit Boardroom, link in the comments description. Inside the community, we have 2,500 members, so you can ask questions, get help, get support whenever you want. We also have, for example, a daily accountability group. So if you struggle with information overload or shiny object syndrome, etc., then you can post your goals here and just stay 100% focused and be held accountable to what you want to achieve. If you go to the win section here, you can see loads of people winning with this stuff, as you can see right here. Lots of people getting great results, like, for example, Agent Zero setups. Some people saying this is the most insane learning experience ever, which is awesome. And then lots of people just getting awesome results and wins. So it's not just me that's winning with this. That's the main thing to note here. We also have 4 weekly coaching calls per week, so you can ask questions, get help, get support whenever you want to. And then also inside the classroom here, you get all of my best training. So for example, if you want to go from like beginner to expert with AI automation, plus learn how to build your first AI agent in under 5 minutes, you can do that right here. If you want to get my playbooks with, for example, how to automate AI avatar videos, shorts, Instagram, X, etc., it's all here too. And if you want to get the daily updates, you can see that right here inside this section. If you want to get more clients, we have a full course right there. If you want to watch the coaching calls, we record them and add them inside this section. If you want to learn how to rank number 1 with AI SEO, you can check that out here. And then also, if you want to grow a YouTube channel, you can learn that right there as well. So that's all inside the AI Profit Boardroom. Busy Work says, I've been trying to go to sleep for the last 9 hours. Why do they keep dropping updates? It's 24/7, 24/7. You got to shut off your phone and stop the notifications. That's what I'd recommend. And The Rock says, "Is this really Julian talking or that avatar?" Yeah, so I mean, like I do at least 4 human videos per day. Most people don't know that, but yeah, I go live for like an hour a day as a human minimum, usually 2 or 3 hours a day, and then also I release like yeah, at minimum like 4 videos that are human each day. So yeah, thanks for watching. Today, we're going to be looking at anti-gravity and how to build animated websites with it. So we're talking about, for example, animated backgrounds, really cool looking websites, all sorts of cool stuff. Most websites, particularly designed with AI, look kind of flat or boring or generic, and nobody stops with boring. So today, we're using anti-gravity plus the new update, Gemini 3.1 Pro, in a way that most people have completely missed. And we're testing out live together. We are going to be showing you how to build these websites, what sort of cool stuff you can do with this, and also how to use the animations. If you don't already have anti-gravity, you can actually download it for free, as you can see right here. So you can download it right here. And then once you start using it, you can start building out websites. So you can see, for example, on here, we've actually built out this website right here. And one thing that we're using is these robot SVG components to build out these websites, right? So let me show you an example of what this looks like in reality. So if we pull this up, you can see, for example, we have these animated backgrounds like this, right? And it just looks a lot more interesting than the previous sort of methods. You got like scrolling banners, you got nice emojis, etc. Actual graphics and that sort of thing, which is pretty cool. And then you can see like it just looks a lot more interesting. Now, how are we doing this, and what sort of prompts are we using to get this sort of output from anti-gravity? Well, that's what I'm going to share with you today. So the reason this website looks pretty cool and how it works, right, is basically you're building like a team of designers inside anti-gravity using the prompt that I'll show you in a second, right? And you might be wondering, okay, what is this even built with? Well, you don't need to code or really understand this stuff, but if you do want to, then you got to think of a website like building a house, right? You need like different tools for different jobs, right? So what we're using here is 4 different elements. Number one is React. So that's the frame of the house, and it keeps every piece of the website organized and separate so nothing breaks each other. Number two is Tailwind CSS. So this is like kind of the paint and the furniture in the house. It handles all the colors, the sizes, the spacing, and everything else automatically. TypeScript is the safety inspector, so it checks the code for mistakes so the website doesn't break. And then we also have Framer Motion as well. This is a tool that just makes everything look a bit more animated and a bit more interesting, right? So we're going to run through exactly how it works and how you can use this. So this is a prompt that we actually use for building this website, as you can see. So we said, create a dark themed full length landing page for the AI from Boardroom. Here's the background, here's the information, the elements you want to use. For the SVG elements, aka the floating like animated robots, as you can see right here, we've got a full section inside the prompt for doing this, right? So it's using SVG files to build this out. It's got the full like details on the colors and everything like this. You can fully customize this to whatever you want as well. And then inside here as well, we design each section, right? So we've broken down, for example, here's the hero section, here's the marquee banner, here's the social proof section that we want to add, here's a features grid, etc. Right? So we've broken it down step by step. Now you could easily take this information and then just customize it to you and your business inside something like Claude, right? So whatever you're trying to build this for, you can do it directly inside Claude. Let me show you an example. So you can take the same prompt, which we've got inside the AI profit boarding, and you can say, okay, customize this to my brand colors, and I'll put my brand colors here. Give me a custom prompt for my SEO agency, Goldie agency instead. And then of course, like you want some CTA buttons, right? So all CTA buttons should lead to this page, right? So all the call to actions on the page should lead to this section, right? And then we'll put the prompt underneath, which is quite a long one. But now Claude, for example, can customize that full prompt and design it for my SEO agency instead of building it for the AI profit boarding community. So that's beginning to build out. And in the meantime, what we can actually do is go back to Antigravity, and you can see this is running locally. So the website is hosted locally, and it's broken down like all the elements that we've actually asked for it to do, right? So you can see that broken down right here. And we were using Gemini 3.1 Pro Low to do that. Now, if you were using high, you probably get even better results, to be honest. And if we go back here, we can see the results here. Also got another prompt which is pretty similar. You can see that here too. Let me show you an example of what that looks like in reality. So if we go back to Antigravity here, we'll open up a new window so you can build multiple websites at the same time. We'll open up a new folder. We'll put AIPB2, open that folder up. And then we can start building the new website inside the new folder. I'm going to switch to Gemini 3.1 Pro High. We've already got the prompts and the plan in place, so we don't need to move into planning mode. We're just going to use fast mode, as you can see. And then we're going to wait from there. Josie says, is there a way to get the prompts? Yeah, if you want the prompts from today, you can get that inside the AI profit boardroom inside this section, right? So if you go to the classroom here, inside the community, then you go to the SOP updates here. We actually have the full prompt inside this section. Plus, we've added a 2-hour course on how to use Antigravity as well. So if you want the prompt, you scroll down this page and then you can get it from there. So if we go back inside here, you can see this is beginning to build out the website itself. And then what it will do is actually get its own agent to create and build that for us and start hosting it locally for us as well, which is pretty cool. Couple of tips for you here. Inside the settings, 2 things that I find always helps me build quicker. So I always click on always proceed here and always proceed here. If you just want to build something fast and you don't want to like confirm every single terminal command inside Antigravity manually, then you can use these features here and it just helps you move a lot faster when it comes to building something up. Another animal says, if this is locally hosted, can it still be published live online? Yeah, of course. So the way that you would do that, right? This is the way that I've done it in the past, is you want to set up an MCP, like for example, Netlify. So if we go to Netlify here, you can add an MCP like Netlify, and then you add your personal access token, and that can deploy websites directly from Antigravity to the internet on subdomains or custom domains that you've got inside Netlify. And all you do is you just put inside the chat once this is set up the website URL that you want to deploy to. So it's a really useful MCP server that you can set up, and it's MCP is just like a tool that you can connect Antigravity to so that it can do cool stuff, right? So that it can, for example, publish websites and that sort of thing. Another animal says, this is amazing. Thank you very much. Yeah, I really like it. I think as well, like it's just a better way to build stuff out. You know, in the age of like everyone being able to build the websites that they want in like 1 or 2 prompts, I think if you can create animations and they look really cool, then you're just going to get better outputs, aren't you? You're going to stand out a lot more. So this is beginning to create this right here. We're doing this. It looks like it's just, instead of giving me the prompt, it just went off and built the page inside Claude. So you can do the same thing inside Claude if you want to as well. And then you publish that and share that as well with the world. So I didn't ask Claude to do that. I asked it to just customize the prompt, but it actually went off and built the website for me, which is pretty nice. So if we have a look at here, um, you can see that we've got the animations on the page. Honestly, I much prefer Antigravity, but you can see that it's got some cool animations in the background using the SVG files right here. And we can see the animated robots. And that was created in one single prompt. So that's another awesome way you can use it. Fast Slow says, what about Cursor versus Antigravity? Honestly, I don't really use Cursor anymore. Number one, I just found like my audience was not that interested in it. And number two, like when anti-gravity came out, there wasn't much of a differentiator, I'll be honest with you. Like Cursor was cool, but then, and it was one of the first movers, but then you got stuff like Claw Code, you got stuff like anti-gravity, and I think it was really hard for Cursor to keep up. I don't know many people personally that are still using Cursor, right, when there's all these cool options out here. So this looks really cool as well. Like you can, you got the animated banner here, you got the background with the stars, which is nice. It used my brand colors in the actual output. It looks better than your sort of generic websites as well, as you can see. And then also you've got like the animated robots as well. And this is linking to our page, which is this one right here, right? So that's pretty cool. Pretty easy to set up, isn't it? If you go back to Antigravity, it's beginning to build out the page here, but you could use that prompt on, Antigravity or Claude. I honestly prefer to build websites inside Antigravity simply because you get all the project files on the left-hand side, which is easier to manage. And also because you code it out locally, it's easy to come back to this project later and just check it out. The final thing that I would say is like it's pretty easy to deploy stuff with, for example, Antigravity because we're using Netlify, which means that we can take that basic project and then publish it to the web later once we're fully happy with it. Right? So that's basically how to build these animated websites. They look pretty cool. If you want to get the prompts from today, you can get that inside the AI Profit Boardroom. This is my AI automation community that helps you save time and scale your business using AI automation. Inside the community, we have 2,500 members, which means there's always people online to connect with, get help, get support whenever you want to as well, which is pretty awesome. And then also inside the accountability section here, we have a daily accountability group. So if you find this stuff overwhelming or you just want to get stuff done without being sort of distracted, this is one of the best ways to do it, because you just post your goals, you hold yourself accountable, and then everyone knows what you're working on as well, right? Also, the other thing that I'd say here is like, it's not just me winning with this stuff. So inside the AI Profit Boardroom, we actually have over 129 pages of testimonials from people getting results with the AI Profit Boardroom and our school communities. So you can get that all inside here as well, which is pretty cool. It's good to see the impact. And then also inside the calendar, you can jump on 4 weekly coaching calls. So you can get help and support whenever you want. And also inside the classroom here, you can get, for example, a full masterclass on how to go from beginner to expert with AI automation, how to build your first AI agent in under 5 minutes. Top of that, you can get all my best playbooks, for example, for AI avatar videos, Twitter, newsletter, shorts, Instagram, etc. And then if you want the daily updates, you can check that out in this section here, right? So you can see how we have daily updates and daily new guides and video tutorials based on the latest stuff that's come out, right? So for example, the OpenClaw update came out 4 hours ago. We've already got a video tutorial and a full step-by-step guide on how to use it, which is awesome. And the same for the prompts from today. If you want to get those, that's inside this section. Just scroll down and you can get the prompts right there. Right? Also, you can learn how to get more clients with the agency course. You can learn how to rank #1 with AI SEO over here. And also, if you want to learn how to grow a YouTube channel with AI based on what's working for me, that's all inside there as well. I appreciate you watching. Thanks very much, and I'll see you on the next one. Cheers. Bye-bye.